नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देशतारिणे। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितमेन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देगं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पदे गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसूते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ईश्वरा परम कृष्णा सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंदा सर्व कारण कारणम। हरे कृष्ण। By Lord Sri Krishna's causeless mercy, we are nicely studying Bhagavad Gita. And every Sunday morning India time and Saturday evening US time, we are now studying in a different cycle. So we are in the fourth chapter. We're going to start the fourth chapter today. We finished the third chapter last week. And as you know, the other days we are in the 10th chapter now. So that way, Krishna's mercy, we are following two cycles. So those devotees who join in between, they can also get the benefit of understanding the slokas from different chapters. But our Bhagavad Gita class is designed in such a way by Krishna's causeless mercy that I'm covering the slokas from all the chapters. So even if you are joining for the first time, you won't miss anything. So in the first chapter, we understood about Arjuna's situation in the battlefield. So there in the battlefield, Arjuna could see all kinds of relatives in both the armies. So Senayor Ubayor Madhye, Senayor Ubayor Api. Because Arjuna told Krishna, "Oh Krishna, please take my chariot between both the armies. Oh Achyuta, oh infallible one, please take my chariot, draw my chariot between both the armies. I want to see who are all there on both sides." Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratham Stapaya me Achyuta Yavadeta Niriksheyakam Yod Kaman Avastitan Kairmaya Sagayodavyam Asmin Ranasamudyame. Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratham Stapaya me Achyuta. Oh Achyuta, please take my chariot between both the armies. Yavadeta Niriksheyakam Yod Kaman Avastita. I want to see Nirikshe, Agam, myself. I want to see Yavadeta Nirikshe Agam Yodhu Kaman Avasthitan. Those who have come here desiring to fight, who all came here, who all assembled here desiring to fight in both the armies, I want to see. Kairmaya Sahayodavyam Asmin Ranas Samudyame. So in this battle, I want to see with whom I must contend, with whom I must fight. So Kairmaya Sahayodavyam. I want to see. So you please take my chariot between both the armies. That's what Arjuna asked Krishna to do. Krishna did the same thing. As soon as Arjuna asked Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, he took the chariot between both the armies. So, Yeva Muktva Rishikesaga Gudakesena Gudakesaga Parantapagam. So, Senayor Ubayor Madhye Stapayitva Ratottamam. So, he took and stopped the chariot between both the armies. There Arjuna could see all kinds of relatives in both the armies. Senayor Ubayor Api. Senayor Ubayor Api means in both the armies. Tatra pasyan sthitan partha pitrunata pitamahan acharyan matulan bratran putran pautran sakim stata swasuran sugurdaschaiva senayor ubayor api. So pitrunata pitamahan acharyan matulan bratran. So pitru fathers, pitamahan grandfathers, acharyan matulan bratran, that is teachers and maternal uncles and brothers, putran pautran sakim stata, that is grandsons, sons and grandsons, putran pautran sakims, friends, putran pautran sakim stata, swasuran sugurdas chaiva, that is fathers-in-law and father-in-laws, and then the sugurdas chaiva, the well-wishers, so fathers-in-law and the well-wishers. So Arjuna could see all kinds of relations. Senayor Ubayor Api. In both the armies he could see. When he saw like that, he didn't know what to do. So he was completely, after seeing all kinds of relatives in both the armies, Arjuna told Krishna that after seeing my kinsmen assembled here to fight with me, Drishtvaimam Swajanam Krishna Yutsam Samupastitam. So now my limbs are quivering. My mouth is drying up, my body is trembling, my hairs are standing on end, my bow, Gandiva, is slipping from my hands, and my skin is burning. That's what Arjuna told Krishna. That we understood about Arjuna's situation in the battlefield. So Arjuna immediately decided not to fight. After seeing everyone on both the sides, Arjuna, who was very much prepared to fight, he was Sastra Dhanurudyamya Pandava. Pravrite Sastra Sampate Dhanurudyamya Pandava. So he was very much preparing to fight. So he was preparing his bow and arrows. So Dhanurudyamya Pandava. So but now he told Krishna that Nakanse Vijayam Krishna Nacharajyam Sukhanj. So when I see all my kinsmen, all my relatives in this battle, so Nachasreyo Anupasyami Hatva Swajanam Aham. I don't think anything good is going to happen by just fighting in this battle. Nachasreyo Anupasyami Hatva Swajanam Ahave. When my Swajanam, Hatva Swajanam, when I kill my kinsmen, when I kill my own relatives, I don't think any good thing is going to come to me. So because of that, I don't desire any victory. I don't want this kingdom. Nakanse Vijayam Krishna Nacharajyam Sukhanj. So in that situation, Arjuna is asking Krishna. Arjuna is even telling Krishna various reasons that why he should not fight in that battle. So he told Krishna very clearly many reasons. If I fight, then I will be the cause for destroying the family tradition. So then because of that, adharma, irreligiosity will increase. Then adharmo abhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriyaga. Then the strees, the women in the family, they will not be protected. And because of that, there will be unwanted population. Jayate varna sankaraga. Then that unwanted population will make this earth as hell. So that way, I will be the cause to make this earth as hell. So I have heard that those who are the cause for destroying the family tradition, so they will always dwell in hell. So I don't want to go to hell. Utsanna kuladharmanam manushyanam janardhanam narake niyatam vaso bhavati iti anusussu. Narake niyatam vaso. They always go and dwell in the hell. So that's why Arjuna told Krishna that I don't want to fight here, Krishna. Let me go unarmed and let the sons of Dhritarashtra come with all kinds of weapons and let them kill me. That is better for me. That is good for me. That's what Arjuna told. Apratiharam, asastram sastra panera, Dhritarashtra rane kanyugu, tanme kshemataram bhavet, yadimam apratiharam. So I will go without resisting. Let them come and kill me. That is good for me. So that was Arjuna's situation in the battlefield. We understood. And then Arjuna told Krishna that how can I kill, how can I counterattack with arrows Bhishma and Drona, my grandfather Bhishma and my teacher Drona, who are worthy of my worship. How can I kill them? So that way Arjuna was completely confused about what he should do, because he was forced to fight in that battle, and in either way he is not seeing any good things are happening. By winning or by losing, in both ways Arjuna thinks that he is a big loser in both ways. By winning he has to kill his own grandfather Bhishma and his teacher Dronacharya and his cousins, that is the sons of Dhritarashtra. He has to kill all of them. Then he will win. But if he lose, so then if he decided to lose, so then he will be killed and his brothers will be killed, all other Pandavas and a lot of other people, other soldiers, other heroes, all other kings, they came they joined on the Pandavas side thinking that Arjuna is there, then why should we worry? Arjuna is there like that. So in either way Arjuna thought that he is losing this war. So that way, he was not able to decide whether to fight or not to fight, because he was not able to decide whether to win or to lose. Then only he can do something. When we are doing an action, when we are doing an activity, we should know the outcome. What outcome we want. We will not know the outcome, but we should have something in our mind. We should wish, we should desire that what should be the outcome. Then only when we do. When you go and write an exam, we won't just like that go and write an exam. We want to pass. We want to get excellent grades, excellent marks. That's why we do it. So in our life, every day, we are doing so many activities. In each and every action, we are always expecting, we always want the results. That's why we are doing those actions, doing those activities. At a given time, we have so many things to do, but we will choose the one that is the best thing, what we want. So we will normally prioritize our tasks. So we will do the job or the tasks which will bring us maximum benefit. So that way Arjuna was calculating here, if I fight here, what is going to happen to me? Either way, I am going to become a loser. If I fight also, I will be a loser. If I win also, I will be a loser. If I lose also, I will be a loser. So basically Arjuna was put into as far as he is concerned, Arjuna was thinking that he is in a lose-lose situation. We have heard about in the business world, they're talking about in the business world, they talk about win-win situation. So Arjuna was thinking that he's in a lose-lose situation. But in reality, in this material world, anyone who is focused on material sense objects, who have no knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, so who don't know that they are the soul, they are not the body, they are the soul, who have no such knowledge, they are always they are always a big loser only. They are always in the lose-lose situation only. So, but one thing Arjuna did here, one clever thing he did it. So, he made a very nice decision at that point of time. Even though in the battlefield, even though he decided not to fight, so even though he decided to not fight, but he made a very important decision at that point of time. He told Krishna, he asked Krishna, because he tried to convince Krishna. In the entire first chapter, Arjuna was trying to convince Krishna. But he knows that Krishna is not convinced. Because after saying everything in the entire first chapter that why he should not fight, then immediately Krishna told Arjuna in the second chapter, the very first thing what Krishna said to Arjuna. Because Arjuna gave so many reasons in the first chapter to not fight in the battlefield. But Krishna, in the second chapter, immediately when Krishna started talking, Krishna said that, Kutastva si Bhagavanu vacha, Kutastva kasmalam idam visame samupastitam anarya justam asvargyam akirti karam Arjuna. Oh Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you in this time of crisis? So, in this, Kutasva kasmalam idam visame samupastitam. It does not become you. And it does not become an Aryan, anarya, justam, aswargyam. It does not lead to swarga. Akirtikaram. It leads to infamy. Akirtikaram. So, anarya justam, aswargyam, akirtikaram Arjuna. So, then Krishna told in the third shloka in the second chapter, Klaibyam masma gamaha partha naitatvayi upapatyate kshudram hridaya taurbalyam tyaktvo uttishta parantapa. O Arjuna, it does not become you. It does not befit you. Klaibyam masma gamaha partha. Don't yield to this degrading importance. Klaibyam masma gamaha partha. Naitatvayi upapatyate. It does not become you. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Just by give up your petty weakness of heart. Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam. Tyaktvo uttishta parantapa. So you get up and fight. Tyaktvo uttishta parantapa. That's what Krishna told Arjuna. You get up and fight. So Arjuna knows that he needs to fight. Krishna wants him to fight. Even though in the entire first chapter, Arjuna tried to convince Krishna that he didn't want to fight, that it is not good fighting here. So even Arjuna told Krishna that both you and me have come here to commit great sins. Aho bata makat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yadrajya sukha lobena antum swajanam udyataha. Aho bata mahat papam. Both you and me have come here to commit great sins. Aho bata mahat papam kartum vyavasitavayam. Yadrajya sukha lobena hantum swajanam udyadaga. Because we are attached, because we want to enjoy this kingly pleasure, Rajya Sukham. Yadrajya sukha lokena hantum swajanam udyadaga. We are prepared to kill our own kinsman just because we want this kingdom. So that's what Arjuna, even he included Krishna also with him. So that way, Arjuna tried convincing Krishna, but it didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. Krishna, in the entire first chapter, he was just hearing from Arjuna. He didn't open his mouth at all. He was just listening to Arjuna. So then, immediately Krishna is telling that Arjuna, that you give up this petty weakness of heart. It does not become you. So don't yield to this degrading importance. So get up and fight like that. So now Arjuna knows very well that Krishna wants him to fight only. And Arjuna and Krishna, they are very close friends. And Arjuna didn't want to displease Krishna. See, because they both are so very close friends. So that way Arjuna made a very important decision, even though he decided to not fight in that battle, Nayotse iti Govindam, but he asked Krishna, oh Krishna, you are asking me to fight, but how can I counterattack with arrows, Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? If I kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, then I don't care to live. Yaneva khatva najiji visamaga. Devasita pramuke Dhritarashtra. So the sons of Dhritarashtra, even though they are standing in front of us, even though they are ready to kill me, but if I kill them, then I don't care to live. Yaneva khatva najiji visamaga. So in this kind of situation, how can I kill them? So now you tell me, Krishna. I'm completely confused, Krishna. Because of this miserly weakness, I've lost my composure because of this miserly weakness. So in this deluded condition, I'm asking you to tell me for certain what is good for me. Karpanya doso upagata swabhavaga prichamitvam dharma sammuda chetaga yastreyasya nischitam bruhi tanme. Yes, Shreyasya Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme. You please tell me for certain what is good for me. Sishyasteyagam Sadimam Tvam Prapanam. I am your disciple. Sisyaste Aham. I am your disciple. Sadimam, please instruct me. Tvam Prapanam. I have surrendered unto you. So that's what Arjuna told. I am fully surrendered. I have completely surrendered unto you. You tell me what is good for me. So that was a very important decision which Arjuna took in that battle. Because he didn't have an option to get out of the battlefield. That is definitely was there. Like that only for all of us in this world, we don't have options. We are all forced to work. We are all forced to act by the three modes of material nature. We cannot get out of this situation, but we have only one option, one choice. That is just surrender unto Krishna. Just ask Krishna. So just submit ourselves to Krishna, like Arjuna did it. So Arjuna had only that option only, other than fighting in that battle. Either he decided to just fight, then he will be completely under the mode of the material nature. But he had got another option there, ask Krishna to tell him what is good for him, what he should do. So that's why this entire Bhagavad Gita, Krishna was able to teach Arjuna. So for all of us, we are all like Arjunas in the same situation. If we study Bhagavad Gita the way Arjuna studied, by submissively inquiring, so then we will get the entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So that is the qualification to study and understand Bhagavad Gita is submissive inquiry. Submissively Arjuna was able to get this knowledge. That's why Krishna also said that Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaga tattvadarshina. So you get this knowledge by submissively inquiring from those who know this knowledge, jnanis. So by rendering service unto them. So that way, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is the most confidential knowledge. It is the Guhya Uttamam, and it is the king of knowledge. It is the Raja Vidya. So Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram, Uttamam, Pratyaksha, Vagamam, Dharmyam, Susukkam, Kartum, Avyam. So we got an opportunity to study this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So if we get this knowledge fully, completely understand, if we completely understand this knowledge, so then we know what to do. Like Arjuna, after getting this complete knowledge, he was able to decide. At that time, he told Krishna, now I am no more confused. I don't have any confusion. My doubts are gone. I'm very well situated. I know what to do. So I'm going to do just follow. I'm going to follow your instructions. That's it. I'm going to do as per your instructions. Karisye vachanam tava. So that's what Arjuna then decided to fight for Krishna. So like that, if we decide to do everything for Krishna, then our life will be full of bliss. So we need to do everything for Krishna. That's what is very, very important. So that kind of consciousness comes when we get this full knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to do everything for Krishna. So now we are in the 4th chapter. So we finished 3 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So here in the 2nd chapter, when Arjuna asked that question, Krishna answered everything. First, you realize, understand that you are not the body, you are the soul. You are speaking like a learned person, but you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Asochan anvasochastvam prajnavadamscha basase gatasum agatasumscha nanu sochanti pandita. So now you are act like a learned person. A person, a pandita, does not lament neither for the living nor for the dead. So because a pandita samadarshinaga, you will see with equal visions. First of all, realize, understand that you are not the body, you are the soul. The soul can never be killed. The soul is there all the time. So that way we need to first realize and understand that we are the soul, we are not the body. And then act all the time with the knowledge that we are the soul. So then realize, understand that the soul is stuck inside this material body. Is forced, is caged inside this material body by the 3 modes of material nature and struggling. So we need to come out of this struggle. So that way, act with intelligence, gain intelligence, use intelligence. And then by acting with intelligence, you will be able to get out of this material bondage, this karma bandha, the bondage to work or bondage to birth. Everything is possible if you act with intelligence. And how can you gain intelligence? And you gain intelligence just by surrendering unto me, just by loving me, just by rendering devotional service unto me. I shall give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. Dadami buddhi yogam tam enamam upayantite. So that way Krishna is asking us to act with intelligence. But Arjuna is asking in the third chapter, the very first question, you are asking me to apply intelligence, use intelligence, but you are asking me to fight in this ghastly warfare. So anyone who has intelligence, will he go and fight in this ghastly warfare? Anyone who has intelligence, will he go and kill his own grandfather and teacher? So that is not intelligence. So now you are confusing me, Krishna. You tell me for certain what is good. You are telling me two things. You are asking me to use intelligence and you are asking me to fight in this battle. So that means I am totally confused. Vyamisreneva vakyena buddhi mohaya sivame. Because of your equivocal instructions, my intelligence is bewildered. Buddhi mohaya sivame. So then how can I use intelligence? Because you are asking me to do two things which are contradictory. So you are asking me to fight and you are asking me to use intelligence. How is this possible? So then only Krishna is teaching, then Krishna taught the entire third chapter, that is Karma Yoga. So we need to understand what is intelligence. Intelligence is actually intelligence. In fact, in the entire third chapter, when Krishna explained, we get the meaning for intelligence. The intelligence is actually not getting attached to the results. So that's what is called intelligence. An intelligent person will not be attached to the results of the activities. That is the main thing. And will do everything as a duty to please Krishna. So that is intelligence. Because Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and Krishna is asking Arjuna to fight to establish dharma. So to establish dharma. So that way Arjuna should fight for Krishna without having any attachment to the results. So that's what is called intelligence. So that is the intelligent way of acting. So anyone who has got intelligence, but we study about intelligence means this IQ level, intelligence level, all these things. That is this material intelligence, like you are able to solve some scientific problems very quickly or very easily, or very complex, complicated problems you are solving. So that is not called intelligence. So the real intelligence is actually, intelligence is to understand that we are the soul and Krishna is the super soul, and develop that love towards Krishna, and then do gain that intelligence from Krishna, then work without getting any attachment to the material sense objects, not thinking about the material sense objects. That's what is called intelligence. Intelligence means fixing our mind on Krishna. That's what is called intelligence. So that way, in the entire third chapter, we studied about the Karma Yoga. Krishna taught. And then what we understand that our mind, senses and intelligence are the sitting places of this kama and krodha, lust and anger. So the last sloka what we studied that evam buddhe param buddhva samstabhyatmanam atmanaga jahi satru mahabhago kamarupam durasalam. So now by gaining this intelligence, control your mind and then fight with this, your satru, enemy, and then gain victory. So Jahi Satru Mahabhago Kamarupam Durasanam. Your Satru, your enemy is the Kamarupam Durasanam. It's formidable, it's very difficult. And Kamarupam. So that is the form of Kama which comes from the Rajoguna. We know that. Kama Esa Krodha Esa Rajoguna Samudbhavana. So now Krishna is continuing for the question what Arjuna asked. Krishna is asked the question that Atakena Prayitoyam Papam Charati Purushaka Anichanapi Varsneya Baladiva Niyojitaka. By what? Only simple to sinful acts, unwillingly as if engaged by force. Now in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing in the fourth chapter, the very first sloka. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivaswan Manave Praha Manur Iksva Kave Abravit Imam Vivasvate Yogam. This Yogam. Now you listen carefully. In this chapter, this is the first sloka of the fourth chapter, and even the second sloka, third sloka, all these slokas, Krishna is using the word Yogam. Yogam means this Bhagavad Gita is the Yogam. This Bhagavad Gita. This is the yoga. Yoga means, we understand from the second chapter itself, we know what is the meaning of yoga. That means being equal in both success and failure, so that equanimity is called yoga. So this Bhagavad Gita is the yoga. So if we gain the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, then we will be able to attain that quality of equanimity, not getting affected by the results. So that's why Krishna is referring to this Bhagavad Gita as the yogam. Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyam. Proktavan means I have told. So I have told, instructed. I have already instructed this knowledge, this yogam to Vivaswan. Vivaswan is one of the sun god. So sun god Vivaswan. So to the sun god Vivaswan, I gave this knowledge. Then he gave this knowledge to Manu. Then Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So that way, so I gave this to Vivaswan. Vivaswan gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshvaku. So from the Ikshvaku dynasty, so Ikshvaku, then Dasaratha comes in that same family, Ikshvaku, and then Rama, Lord Rama comes. So Dasaratha, Rama. So that's why Rama is coming from the Sun dynasty. So that's why Imam Vivasvate Yogam, Vivaswan Proktaman Aham Abvyam, Vivaswan Manave Praga, Manu Ikshvakave Apravi. So what we understand is that this Bhagavad Gita, the same knowledge which Krishna gave to Arjuna 5,000 years ago in the battlefield, in the Kurukshetra, the same knowledge Krishna gave to Vivaswan, sun god Vivaswan, also millions of years ago. So then in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing that in the second sloka in the 4th chapter. Yevam parampara praptum imam rajasya yogo vidugu sakale nega mahatta yogo nashtaga parantapa. Yogo. Again, Krishna is using the word yogo. This yogam, this Bhagavad Gita knowledge. This was received through disciplic succession. Evam parampara praptam. This was received through disciplic succession. Imam Raja Rishiyo Vidugu. Raja Rishis. Raja means king. Rishi means saint. So Raja Rishi means saintly kings. That's how the saintly kings understood by this parampara, by disciplic succession. So that means a person who is ruling, a ruler, he should be a saint. So that's what Krishna is saying. Saintly kings, Raja Rishi. So they should not be attached to material sense objects. They should not be looting things. They should not be doing all those things. If a person has got the power to rule, then that person should be a saint. So that's why Krishna is saying that Imam Raja Rishiyo Vidugu. So that's why the Dharma to be established. So we need to make a lot of Raja Rishis. That's what is very important. So we need to make sure this Bhagavad Gita knowledge is going to each and every one. A lot of devotees we need to make. So Evam parampara praptum imam raja rishyo vidugu sakale nega mahatto yogo nastaga parantapa. This mahatta, this great yoga, mahatta yoga, this great yoga, this Bhagavad Gita during the course of time, kale nega. So kale nega means during the course of time, nastaga, it got lost. So the disciplic succession got broken and this knowledge was lost. So that's why I am giving this knowledge to you now. So that means before Arjuna Arjuna got this knowledge from Krishna. This knowledge was not available there at that point of time because it was coming through disciplic succession, and that disciplic succession was broken and that knowledge was lost. So that same knowledge Krishna gave to Arjuna. So we should be very fortunate in this Kali Yuga. We have this knowledge. We have this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. It's available for us. So it's Krishna's mercy. We have got this knowledge. So in the next sloka, Krishna is continuing that Sayevayam maya tedya yogaga proktaga puradanaga bhakto sime sakacheti ragasyam hetad uttamam. That same knowledge. Sayevayam maya tedya. Adya means today, Maya by me, Te means to you. So today I am giving you, explaining you that same knowledge, yoga, again yoga. So Imam Vivasvate Yogam, then Sakalenega Mahatto Yogo. So here again Krishna is saying that yoga, proktaha puradanaha. The yoga means that Bhagavad Gita, proktaha means which I have already instructed to sun god Vivaswan. Puradanaha, that is the oldest. So this oldest knowledge which I already gave to sun god Vivaswan, that same knowledge I am giving it to you today. Because you are my dear devotee and my friend. Bhakto sime sakacheti. You are my friend and my devotee. That's why I am explaining you this most confidential knowledge. Ragasyam. Ragasyam means confidential, secret. So most confidential knowledge. Ragasyam yetad uttamam. So that's why Krishna is saying that Sayevayam maya tedya yogaga proktaga puradanaga bhaktosi me sakacheti ragasyam hetad uttamam. That ragasyam I'm teaching you again. So that's what Krishna told Arjuna. So now Arjuna is asking a question. So we'll just finish with the next sloka. In the sloka number 4, in the 4th chapter, Arjuna is asking a question to Krishna. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavatto janma param janma vivasvataka katham etat vijaniyam tvam madau proktavaniti. Aparam bhavatto janma param janma vivasvataga. Aparam means junior. Param means senior. So inferior, superior also, in a different sense we will study. But in this sense, it is junior and senior. So by birth, you are junior to Vivaswan. Vivaswan born millions of years ago. So billions of years ago, Vivaswan born. So aparam bhavato janma. Param janma vivasvataga. Whereas Vivaswan's birth is senior. So by birth, Vivaswan is senior to you. So then, katham etat vijaniyam tvam adav proktavanidhi. How am I to understand that you gave this knowledge to Vivaswan in the beginning? How can I know that? Because he was born billions of years ago. He was much senior to you, and you are just born. We are just born here. So how am I to understand? It's a very important question. So that way Arjuna asks this question, and let's wait for next week to understand what Krishna answers. Hare Krishna. By Krishna's causeless mercy, we have successfully finished the 4 slokas in the 4th chapter today, and we will discuss if any questions are there. Hare Krishna.